I am at the intersection of Schroeder and Sherburne. There are some street signs on a pole at this intersection. One of them says no trucks between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. Another indicates that a bike lane is starting. There's a third sign, which is maybe the most important one, which warns drivers that they are not allowed to turn right on a red light. The problem is you can't see those signs as a driver because they are behind another pole. You literally have to go quite some distance this way before you can actually see them. And guess what? This has been like this since the spring. The mistake has drivers both craning their necks and shaking their heads. Do you realize that you're not supposed to turn right at this intersection on a red light?
You can't tell because of the poles obstructing the view of the sign, so it makes it difficult for the drivers and the pedestrians to operate safely.
There is a sign there.
Behind that pole. No, I did not realize that.
Does that make sense to you?
No. It doesn't.
It would appear that a new pole with new signs was installed right behind the old one, but the old one hasn't been taken down yet. And while there is a sign restricting the no right-hand turn before you enter the intersection, it too is easy for a driver to miss. What do you think about the fact that the sign to tell you that
is hidden behind something? Wonderful.
Makes a lot of sense, right?
Makes absolute sense.
The pole's in the way, but yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
Here's another puzzler. We're wondering why these guy wires that are apparently providing stability for this new utility pole have been installed right in the middle of the sidewalk. There are several of them on both sides of Queen Street east of Woodbine. It's not clear why the choice was not made to angle the wires so that they're more out of the way, like on this pole. But they certainly make it tricky for pedestrians, especially if you might not be paying close attention.
To be honest, I've never noticed them before, but it is kind of annoying. I would not say it's the most pedestrian-friendly sidewalk in the city, and it hasn't been for a while. And you're also trying to get like 3 or 4 people across a sidewalk like this. It's a busy neighborhood.
That's remarkably short-sighted, isn't it? In any neighborhood, I suppose, but given the density of people that this neighborhood attracts and it's a go-to neighborhood, it's really, when the snow comes. Just think about all the different carriages. Like this is a family neighborhood. There's those big double-wide strollers, and this is like really remarkable. Yeah, remarkably dumb.
They're definitely in the way, that's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, I did speak to Toronto Hydro and the city about these issues today. Toronto Hydro confirmed that those poles and the guy wires or anchors in the beaches are theirs. They've been upgrading their electrical equipment, and Tori Gass from Toronto Hydro says that those anchors are required to meet today's standards and that it was very challenging to find a place to put them because it's a very crowded space. But she admits that engineers, once they saw these anchors installed, they realized that they are in fact in the way, and they are in the process of looking for an alternative. As for these poles, the city would have been the one to install the new signage, but once again, Toronto Hydro does own both the poles. Now, Tori Gass says that once all the services on the old pole are removed, then the old pole is ready to be taken down. But she says they're not always informed when all the services have been switched over. So she's looking into whether that happened in this case.